Welcome to Wash Talk, the Carwash Podcast. I'm your host, Rich DiPaolo, and joining me today we have Heath Pomerantz, CEO of WOW Carwash. Heath, so nice to see you, and thanks for joining me here on Wash Talk.
Thanks for having me, Rich. Big fan, first time caller, but long time listener. So looking forward to it. That's fun.
Sounds good. We love those long-time listeners for sure here on Wash Talk. You were nice enough, Heath, to do a profile with us earlier on in this year, March 2025 issue of Professional Car Washing and Detailing magazine, article written by Kyle Alexander, one of the editors on staff here. And we learned a lot about your story and the WOW Car Wash journey so far. So I just want to get you on the program today, maybe follow up on that profile and possibly answer some questions we weren't able to fit in print. All right.
Sounds good.
All right. Yeah, sounds good. I read your story, Heath, and I know you quote unquote grew up in the car wash industry. Your family owned a full serve out in South Florida in the 90s, if I'm not mistaken. So is that as much fun as it sounds to be part of a family that owns a car wash in the 90s in South Florida?
Yeah, it was incredible, right? The not so fun part was, the kids, we'd all scatter when the garage door opened if it was a rain day and dad was coming home, right? You didn't want to be around dad on rain days. But no, I mean, growing up at the car wash, I tell people my first official job, child labor laws were a little looser back then. My first official job was hand applying tire shine to the cars as they rolled off the tunnel exit for 25 cents a car. I definitely did not negotiate a good deal for myself. And I tell people, I've learned everything in my life from the car wash industry, everything from plumbing and electrical to taxes, because those 25 cents per car Armor All jobs, you find out real quick that 99-cent chicken nuggets at Wendy's next door requires tax. So yeah, it's I wouldn't trade it for the world. Love growing up in the industry, and learning full serve is it's unique for sure.
They give you those sauces for free though with those chicken nuggets. So I always lean towards sweet and sour myself. I don't know if you're a barbecue fan, but
Sauce guy, Rich. The chicken should speak for itself.
understood. So did you stay at the family car wash through the 2000s until you got to Go Car Wash, or was there another position in between there?
No, there were a lot of stops. I've worked almost every job there is in the car wash industry. So it started in the early 90s, 1993. Mom and dad opened Elite Car Wash down in Sunrise, Florida. That car wash is actually still there today, but it's certainly changed hands. We had 3 full serves through the mid to late 90s. And then in 2000, roughly, Wash Depot, really the first consolidator in the industry. And you had Pete Nani now with Zips, but Pete was there with Wash Depot, 25 years ago during that acquisition. So, we transitioned into the self-serve business for a little while. I was operating a few sites in Tampa. We had a few sites down in South Florida. And then, 2005, 2006, we were getting ready to open our first express wash. The model was still new. We had the site picked out there in Tampa, Florida. And then, as everybody knows, 2007 was not exactly the best time to open a business. So we never actually got that express wash opened in Tampa, hung on to the self-serves. We had 12 locations with 14 in-bay automatics and several self-serve bays at each of those locations. And then, through those years, we started selling some of the self-serves, and I transitioned into distributorship with a partner, Rick Ford, down in Florida for a few years. And then that took us into 2014, where my wife and we moved to Denver, was working for a distributor there named Auto Wash, still around today. Great company, great people. And then joined Diamond Shine with Scott and David Sobel when they still owned it in 2017. Started traveling around the country. Would have never thought car wash would have brought me all over the country, in Alaska and Canada. Had a great time with them. Eventually we were acquired by Sonny's, stayed there for a little while. And then that's when I transitioned over to Go in 2019, originally as their VP of operations. And I was with them for about 5 years, left as their chief development officer. I had a very rich background with the family in development. We built all of our own car washes in the 90s and into the 2000s. So it was a great opportunity for me to use some more of my skills and the background on the development side. And then I was with Go from 0 locations in May of 19 through when I departed in December of 23 with over 140 locations. And that, you learn a ton about scaling at that size and at that scope. And to go from 0 to 140 locations in roughly 5 years, baptism by fire, right? But we had an incredible team, built a really great company there, and then joined the WOW Carwash team where I am today, shortly thereafter in Q1 of 2024 as the COO. And for some crazy reason, they thought I was doing a good enough job and they moved me into the CEO role in the fall of 2024. And that's where I sit here today.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations. Yeah. So well-traveled, not only living in a few different locations in the United States, but it sounds like, I heard manufacturing, distributor, self-serve, full-serve, express. So you've seen a lot of corners of this car wash industry as well, it sounds like.
Oh, it's my entire life. I've never waited tables, never served popcorn at a movie theater. Soap is in the veins and it's ingrained in me. It's provided me, my family, everything we have. And that's something I'm very passionate about, to then in turn, share that opportunity with the young managers that we have. The average age of a car wash employee is, usually in the early 20s. A lot of them, it's their first management opportunity, their first leadership opportunity. A lot of them never thought they would have a career in an industry like this. They joined as a, quote unquote summer job. And it's incredible to give them a true career path where, they can see from others in the industry that have traveled the same road and went from, hand applying tire shine at 12 years old to being the CEO of a car wash group. The positive of the fast growth we've seen in this industry is a ton of opportunity for folks that maybe never thought they'd be managers or directors or move into training or all these different avenues that car washing can provide. And it's something I'm very passionate about and something that we focus on here at WOW.
I appreciate you going into that background for me, Heath. One thing that might have changed over these last 30, 40 years, and you've mentioned the downer of rain days in the 1990s, that it's kind of provided somewhat of a solution. Membership has on losing out on some of those rainy days. But outside of chicken nuggets tripling and maybe quadrupling in price since the 1990s, what else? What have you noticed has changed in this car wash market? What strategies and services resonate most with customers today, and how has that changed since the early 90s when your family first started in this market?
Yeah, certainly the industry has seen many changes, but there's also many things that remain the same. And from the perspective of what's changed, right? The express model really wasn't there in the early 90s, certainly not to the scale and finesse and precision that it is today, right? Operators that can move thousands of cars a day through 120, 130 foot tunnels. The full serve business was the car wash model in the 90s and the 80s. If you did 1,000 cars at a full serve, people were working, right? It was a lot of work, 20, 30 minute turnaround times at best per car. So the speed, right, of the current model is obviously one of the big changes. And now the express model has taken over the industry. And that's because, the people, the customers, they want a quick service. They want the ability to whip in when they're doing their normal errands. The other things that have changed, the consolidation obviously has taken over our industry, both on the operation side, but also manufacturing, which provides tons of innovation. When you have the resources and funding that pour into the business, we're no longer an afterthought and using chemicals or technology that we have to adapt. Now they're creating it uniquely for our industry. But in the same breath, as much as change, some things remain very much the same. It's still a people-oriented business, and those great operators really focus on the people. They're not only scaling the operations, but they're scaling the culture. Something that I think gets missed often. You can't just add more sites and assume the culture remains the same. You have to put a concerted effort and focus into it. And customer service, that's never gone away. We look at Chick-fil-A as an example of a business that doesn't do anything special, right? The chicken sandwich is as good there as it is at any other place. Arguably, there's better chicken sandwiches, but I think the reason people keep going back is the experience. And that's something that we focus on a lot, the experiential portion of the car wash, the lights, the smiles, the shirts tucked in uniform, as opposed to, wearing any old t-shirt. We want to be that Chick-fil-A of car wash. We want to be that steakhouse experience, as opposed to the run-of-the-mill, underwhelming customer service, underwhelming experience for the guests that frequent WOW Car Wash.
And I'd imagine, Heath, as you mentioned, you've been in this CEO role at WOW Carwash for just under a year as we're recording this interview here, after serving as the chief operating officer. How did that operational background and your vast market experience shape your leadership vision for WOW Carwash? I'm sure it helps the frontline employees see that the CEO actually did the job that they're doing. So maybe that message hits a little bit harder for you when you go meet them about best practices and whatnot.
Yeah, it obviously helps to be able to speak the language, right? When we're walking a tunnel, I'm not pointing at things and wondering what they do, or, calling the wrap the spinny thing, right? Having the knowledge and industry expertise, not because I'm smarter, just because I've been in it for 30 plus years, I think is vastly valuable to the success and to the team feeling comfortable, right? Knowing that I can stand there shoulder to shoulder with them because I've lived it and understand it, and then use that along with all the team knowledge and expertise that we have here to make the right decisions, the decisions that are best for the team, best for our guests, and best for our long-term success. The operational portion of my brain and the car wash business is always taking precedent. You can't forget that although it's a simple business, and it is, right? There's not a ton of complexity to what we do. The simplicity is not synonymous with easy. It's not easy. These team members, certainly here in Vegas, they're standing in 110, 115 degree heat for 14 hours a day in the summer. Washes that I've operated in upstate New York, on the flip side, in January and February, where it's, single digits and driving snow and the line is out to the street. So having that understanding and taking those considerations to heart of, all right, we need to make them comfortable, referring to the team. We need to keep them happy, because happy team members are going to make happy guests, right? And that's where the simplicity of it comes in, and not overcomplicating it, keeping it simple, because at the end of the day, we're washing cars. But yeah, the operational background for me, 30 plus years, as I had mentioned, working in a lot of different areas in the industry, I think it's vital. And I think having, a little bit of a resurgence of car washers back in charge of car washing, I think is great for the industry and great for the individual success of a lot of these different operators.
You mentioned Go Car Wash before, and it's scaled so fast, over a short period of time. WOW Car Wash, founded in 2017, currently at 17 locations with several more in development. Are most of those sites new build, or are all of those sites new build? Was there any acquisition?
All but one was ground up. We acquired one location here in 2023, but the other 16, soon to be 17 operating locations, in addition to that one acquisition, were all ground up.
So how does your experience at Go Car Wash differ from growing this brand WOW Car Wash? What's the ceiling for WOW Car Wash? Do you see it as a 150 plus location type company, or in any ways is it going to be different from how Go Car Wash scaled?
Yeah, I learned a ton in those 5 years at Go Car Wash. And one thing that always stood out to me was you never have as much time as you think you do. Right? It was, we'll build out that training program, next quarter. Well, 2 years fly by, or, we'll get to this initiative next quarter, 2 years fly by. And I brought that mentality here with me to WOW of, you don't have the time, right? And a mantra that we live by is the whole concept of 1 in a million. Well, we're going to wash over 4 million cars this year. So 1 in a million to us means 4 times a year. And really getting yourself in a focus of, don't wait for tomorrow for what you can accomplish today. You don't have the time you think you do. So, balancing the urgency without overstressing the team, without rushing, because rushing is obviously not going to give you the same quality of result of when you have the time to really think things through. So we built out a great team. I was very fortunate to inherit a really great team as well. And we've only expanded on it. And we have site number 18 opening in just a few weeks. We've already launched our Founders Club, which has been a great success, offering discounts to members for a portion of time to get in early and take advantage of that. And then, the way that we look at scaling here, although we're not going to add 30 or 40 a year, going from 11 locations at the end of 2023 to now be 18 locations in just a little over 18 months, that's significant growth, well over 50%. And that kind of growth, regardless, puts a lot of stress on the team. So upgrading our systems, upgrading our processes to account for that 1 in a million is going to happen to us 4 times this year. That's really what's helped us maintain the quality through the growth. Because I'll tell you, Rich, I'd much rather open no new stores and still be the best car wash in Las Vegas 6, soon to be 7 years in a row, than open 20 more and even remotely sacrifice that quality. So that's our North Star, if you will. We have to continue to provide what we promise to our guests, which is a best-in-class guest experience for them every single time.
Well, you certainly set the bar high when you named the car wash, or when they named the car wash, 2017 WOW Car Wash. I mean, really sets the bar high for customer expectations. So what internal or cultural practices help ensure that every team member is delivering on that promise, especially as the organization here grows?
Yeah, our founders, Todd Bender and Scott Wainwright, they had this dream of opening a car wash almost a decade ago now. And they teamed up with Hillary Woodring, who they had worked with in other capacities. And they came up with the name WOW. And it was purposeful. It was, we're going to put the standard and expectations right on the side of the building. And then we have to live up to it, right? We're not going to hide this in the background and just hope we do well. And I love that mentality of the standard that we expect every single day is on the side of our building for everybody to see. You better go live to it. We talked about this business scaling. We're going to be at 18 at the end of this month. We're going to be at 25 in a short amount of time. We have line of sight all the way to 30 locations here in Las Vegas. So the way you get there without sacrificing the quality, you have to have an exceptional training program, not just an okay one. You have to have a training program that holds that standard and lives up to those expectations. And we launched WOW University in Q4 of last year. And we've moved what was already a great training program, but it was all papers and manuals. And we moved that into a learning management system, or an LMS, online. And now we're able to hold people accountable to going through the training the proper way. We can actually then take that from the LMS and we do what's called an observational checklist. So then the managers can see, okay, you've completed, your training on properly loading a car, for an example. Now I need to see you do it and execute it properly. And then they have their checklist. So it standardizes everything across the board. There's no more, we do it this way at this location or that way at that location. it's the same experience for the guests every single time. And the other thing that we did was you can't have multiple people sharing the training. You have to have someone who owns it. And, we certainly have the philosophy that everyone's a trainer and that the training never ends. But we have an incredible training manager in Kristen Corson here, who has built out the LMS, has moved everything from the paper to the online and made it very functional. And that's really, that's the not so secret to the success, right? And if you can have that sustainable training program, you can replicate and scale those results. And then I had mentioned it earlier, the piece that I think is equally important to the training. You can't just scale the training, you have to scale the culture. And Rich, I'm sure you've heard culture 1,000 times. It's a buzzword. And I think where people miss is assuming that, we have a great culture at 5 locations. It'll be a great culture at 20. We don't have to do anything different. But you do. You have to scale that culture, because what you were able to put your arms around at 5 locations, right? That grip starts to loosen at 10 and then 20 and so forth. So putting systems and processes and being thoughtful around culture. And a great example, last week, we closed the washes 8 hours early. We put all 250 plus team members at Lee's Family Forum. It's the arena for the Vegas Nighthawks that we're a sponsor of. And we did an update on the company. We played a bunch of games, split the teams up by districts and made it a little competitive and fun. And then we fed everybody, and we had over 3 hours of just team building and having a good time. And you have to make the time for those things. A lot of people would think about closing the car wash 8 hours early, but seeing the smiles on the team faces, seeing what it does to continue to reinforce and build our culture, it's worth it every single time. And we'll certainly do it again next year.
And I remember you mentioned the Pete Nanny interview that we did on Wash Talk a few episodes ago. We discussed how car washing, is now a career for many people. Back when I was a young adult, car washing was seen as a stepping stone or maybe a college job. But when you have someone in the C-suite position like yourself, and you're training these younger folks to do things the right way in car washing, that's a powerful message to say, you too could be the CEO of a car wash company one day because you're living proof of it. So I think that's great, Heath. And I know you have many strategic partnerships and relationships in the Las Vegas market. I know the Vegas Golden Knights are an important partner of yours, and I won't hold that against you as a lifelong New York Islanders fan. But I do want to go into some of those initiatives a little later, but just sticking with the growth strategy here for WOW Carwash, obviously you've become a super regional player in the Las Vegas market. I'm sure you, just like many other car wash companies in the industry, have decided to look outside of your competitive radius and see if there are other markets in the United States where it might be a good fit for WOW Carwash. Have you had those discussions with your team? If so, are you looking to go into other markets, and what would you look for in a new market?
Yeah, I think it would surprise some people that Las Vegas is actually, one of the fastest growing cities in the country. And if you visit here and you get away from the Strip, you see all the development, new apartments, new communities being built. We believe that there is room for 30 plus WOW car washes here in Las Vegas. And as enticing as it may be to go look at another market, we want to make sure we built a moat around this market for us. And yeah, there's competitors here, and there's more that are eyeing it, and you can't stop that by any means. But we know that if we take our eye off the prize here, it leaves us vulnerable. So we've certainly entertained the idea, but we have no plans or desires to move outside of the market at this time. Our sole focus is to continue to own this market. We're, as I said, about to be at 18 locations, which puts us well ahead of the pack in the pure express play here. And we plan to keep that advantage. 6 times best of Las Vegas for car wash. We plan on being 7 straight times as well. So yeah, as I mentioned, we have line of sight to well over 25 car washes right now in various stages of development. Either we already own the land or we're already going through entitlements and permitting or further along. So, we don't see a need to go to a new market today. But we certainly see the opportunity to continue to remain as the community car wash for Las Vegas and all the residents here.
All right, cool. Now, I know you've had a busy summer at WOW Carwash because we've posted at least 3 press releases from your company over the past three or so weeks. One of those press releases was about the WOW Carwash Local Heroes initiative. And I know you have other special events that are standout community engagement strategies. So what inspired these programs and how has it impacted both your team and brand reputation?
We have 3 brand pillars that we live by, so much so that we put giant posters of them on the side of every one of our buildings. One of them is advanced technology, and that's our commitment to making sure that we don't stay behind the curve. We stay ahead of it and making the experience for the guests as good as possible. We also have environmental dedication. It's very important to us that we're not water abusers. We have fully functioning reclaim systems at all of our locations that we use, and we don't turn them off. But that third brand pillar of community engagement, that one we are very passionate about. And you mentioned we're very active in the community, whether it be the Local Heroes initiative, which we also did something for all the teachers during Teacher Appreciation Week. And we just went around in person delivering free car wash coupons, giving them a chance to, go keep their car clean and feel pretty good about it. But we're very active in the community. You mentioned the different partnerships with the Vegas Golden Knights. I understand your pain, Rich. I'm from South Florida, so I am a Florida Panthers fan. So I guess I don't fully understand your pain. Things are going pretty well for us, if you're aware. But we're partnered with VGK, the Vegas Nighthawks. This year, we became the official car wash for UNLV football and basketball. We wear that moniker of the community car wash proudly. To me, that is probably something that our team resonates the most with, because this is their town, right? And to be able to support it, just this weekend, the Summerlin South Little League team punched their ticket to the World Series, or the Little League World Series. So we donated $1 for every retail wash on Sunday, and it makes everybody really proud to put that WOW shirt on. So we know what the community means to us. We certainly hope we mean as much to them. We remain very active in all these different initiatives. And you're going to keep getting those press releases, Rich, because we're doing this often throughout the year. We have St. Jude coming up in October, the St. Jude Walk. We donated over $40,000 to St. Jude last year. We're going to partner with Clark County School District. They have their Monster Dash that same weekend, where they promote wellness for all of their teachers and administrators and everyone else who works in Clark County. And that's something I think we're all the most proud of. We wash a lot of cars. We put out clean, dry, shiny cars. Anybody can put out a good car. Not everybody can be as active and genuine care for the community as what WOW Carwash does. And it's something we're very proud of.
All right, sounds good. The Panthers and the Golden Knights certainly can't go wrong with either of those teams these days. I just asked that you'd maybe save some wins for my beloved Islanders.
They're looking good. You're rebuilding, Rich.
They're okay. They're all right. They're in a little bit of a. They don't know their identity right now, I don't think, but they're getting there. They're an up and comer, that's for sure. But so what's next for WOW Carwash? As you look at Q3 and Q4 of this year, I'm sure you've already started to look ahead to 2026 goals. What can you share with us outside of the St. Jude's Walk in October? What else is going on at WOW Carwash over these next couple of months?
Yeah, obviously I'd mentioned our 18th location. Number 19 is not far behind it. 19 and 20 are all going through their process of permitting and construction. We're not taking our foot off the gas there. We believe there's tons of opportunity for further growth and development in the Vegas market, as I had mentioned. But that's I'm not going to say the easy stuff. Building more car washes is not getting easier. But that's not the stuff that we're most excited about. right? It's the opportunities that those bring, more managers, more opportunity for promotion, more opportunity for that development of our individual leaders. And, I met a guest service attendant, which is our entry level position, over the weekend. And he was excited about the opportunity to become a lead GSA and move through the career ladder. So that's something we're obviously very proud of, and we're going to continue to do that. We have a leadership summit later in September. We're going to bring every one of our leaders in and continue to help develop and grow them. We have a ton of initiatives. VGK kicks their season off in October, as you know. So we always give away free tickets to team members. We give them away to guests and members. We do something that's pretty unique called the Blue Carpet VIP experience. We pick winners. They have to be guests or members currently. We raffle off 4 tickets. They get custom jerseys. They get a behind the scenes tour of the fortress. They get picked up in a limo and taken to the game, and we take care of their food and drink for them. We do a few of those giveaways every single year, which everybody gets very excited about. We do similar with the Vegas Nighthawks, who are actually playing in the championship I believe this weekend down in Tucson. So that's very exciting as well. Yeah. And as I mentioned, we're not going to take our foot off the gas here. We're going to continue to be entrenched in the community. We're working on some really fun things that we're going to announce later this year that continue to drive value to our members and their membership. And I think it's going to be something very unique in the industry, certainly something that we're going to leverage where we live here in Las Vegas to provide them significantly more benefits for their membership. So excited to announce that. Continued partnership with Clark County School District and continue to be that community brand here in Las Vegas. There's no shortage of opportunity for us to impact the community and our teams, and that's what we're always most proud of.
All right, man. Well, I love the story. I love your story. I love the WOW Carwash story as well. Sounds like you're scaling responsibly with a focus on the customer and wash results and empowering employees with great training. So checking all the boxes of what it takes to be a successful car washer these days. And I appreciate your time that you took for us back for the March article, and certainly appreciate you letting me follow up with a few more additional questions for you today, Heath.
Yeah, I really appreciate you having me, Rich. This is always fun. I've been begging someone to put me on a podcast. I certainly hope you follow us back at WOW Wash and keep up on us, and hope you have me back on in the future, Rich.